Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back again, and we are on the journey to we are on the journey of learning the introductory session of SRE basics, and as part of that, we are doing some Linux, going over some of the fundamentals of Linux. And right now, I'm here with you to teach you some of the top 20 commands or some highly used commands that you should be knowing in order to interact with your server to make sense how the operating system. These are the commands or instruction sets that will enable you to to interact with the operating system, and that's what we are trying to learn as part of this exercise. If you know operating system, you're setting yourself up for a career, and that's just the start. So let's just hop in right over. Okay, I'm logged in, and I'll show you how I logged in. So you need SSH is a transport protocol. This is the name of the user. This is the IP address, and we are and as soon as I enter that, I'm on the machine itself. Now on the server itself. Now you may ask, it didn't prompt for the password. Usually it will ask you for the password. So there are multiple ways of authentication. Well, I have set up a public key, host-based authentication. The key-based authentication has been set up on this machine, and I will tell you what it is. So later, but I'll explain you. So basically, we don't need passwords, and we are exchanging keys here, and as a result, it doesn't require the password. Now, the scope of this this video is not to teach you the key-based authentication right now, but let's get to the top 20 commands. But just to promise you that I'll go over this with you in detail, and all of these things I'm telling you is going to enable you and make you ready for a career, either in a site reliability career, DevOps career, or some type of system administration that interacts with that requires you to interact with operating system. Even if you are a software engineer, you are expected to know this. This is the basics that I personally think that everybody should know. Even a high schooler or somebody who is just beginning and interacting with computers should know these basics. And okay, all right. So I logged into the machine, and what we are doing today is going to be doing top 20 Linux command. Okay, so I took it out, top 20 command, and we'll take over and we'll cover most of it. And some of them will require some. Will not be that simple at this stage, but let's over. So okay, I logged in. So the first, so even if so if I want this, so this is a character return. I mean, the system is asking me to complete the command, but actually it was a typo, so I can just do a Control C and I come out of it. Okay, clear first command. Clear the screen. List ls is the command that will list the files, and lrt means list in a long fashion, reverse, and with time-based time audit. List in ascending order. So that anything after the command dash is called switches. So there are 3 switches on this command. So ls is one command. You can always go and study about a command by doing man ls. So man is the manual of ls. I would highly recommend you to go and read on the manuals. Manuals are difficult to read, but they are the source of truth, and you should know that. So it's telling you what lsa does, what ls-a does, what is b does. You can try all that. Okay, so that's our first command. It will tell you the list of file system. Now, what in a Linux file system, in a Linux operating system, everything is a file and directory structure. So we want to see, and it's following some type of a tree-based architecture. So it means that there's a root, and then there's a child node of child nodes, and the child have their children, those leaf nodes. That's how it's being set up. So if I have to explain you the eCali-Raw. I'll explain you how the file system basically is designed. Basically, it works like this. Okay, so you have a root, and then root. This is called root. The top, when you're at the top of the tree node, which means that when you're at the top, when you're starting the root, which means the top of the file system is like called root, and that's represented by a slash. Okay. Now, what is underneath that? So there are commands like there are subdirectories which are further children of these, and they can have a sub layer attached to it, which is called user, right? And then it can have and then it can have their own child, and they can have this keeps following the trend. Okay, so you have this, and you have this ABC, and then you have SDEF. LIK or something. So if you want to traverse to this this layer, the path, this is called the path traversal. So the path to reach KHI is going to be something like this. So the path for that will be give root etc and KHI. So here is the path. This is called price of the tool. So this is the path for traversal path. This is one path, this is another path, this is another path. So generally these are the file system how it works. So if I have to reach this, what's my path? My path is going to be user ABC. That's one path. If I'm talking about this is OPT dev. So we're just going to say that this is going to be OPT APT dev. Now, how do I figure out which layer I am at right now? So the command used for that is pwd, and pwd is telling me that you are on the root. Okay. So just to let you know, root is also one of the hierarchies. So if this is this, so this root can be, root is probably here, and the root is probably lying somewhere here. So I can say that. So we'll do copy here. So root is probably lying somewhere here. Root. So root is the actual root, meaning the root of the file system is slash, and underneath that is the subsect is the child node. So these are the child nodes, and if you think about it, this is following a tree-based architecture. So if I have to reach root, I will have, so the path to reach root is slash root, right? So if I do pwd, is telling me okay, I'm a slash root. If I want to go up, to my home directory, which is the native path, so going to be the command will be cd tilde, and it still is telling me my root, my home directory is root for the root user, because the user here is root, so that's my home directory. Okay. The other thing, if I want to go to the root of the file system, I do cd slash, and that will take me to the top layer, right? If I do a list on this and I say show me the list, this is the tree based. So these are all the child nodes under the root file system. So we have MNT server, OPT media user. You can go and if you do tree, I'm not sure if the tree is installed, but tree is one command that will list you the complete file system in a tree. So let's just install that if we can. Install tree. Let's see. Alright, so you see that tree is getting printed. This is a complete way of how to print tree. So if we do a cd tree, and I think we can put a depth. So let's see how tree works. Tree, let's running links. Tree with depth. We want to see the certain depth of it. So list directories only. Okay. So if we do a 3D, it is showing me all the directories, and you can see that this is how the file system is. It's a tree based. What I'm trying to tell you, it's following a tree based flow. So you have a root, and root is going to bin dev etc, and you can see that when you look at it, that these are the root, the first child of the root. So everything else will have, and under etc you have alternatives. So if I have to go and see where is alternative, so I can just go cd/etc alternative. So as it's clear that this falls in etc alternative. Tree is a very good command that will show you how the file system is laid out. Some of the things basic and very common across all the systems. So okay, let's jump on to the other command. We are going to cover a few commands here, so let's cover the other one. So we covered list, pwd, and w. So it's basically W stands for who. So we already covered that, and we covered list, we covered pwd, and we know how to connect with SSH. And I showed you a tree, so let's jump on some other commands. So what else we do have? So we have something called make dir. So I'm just going to go back again to my root. Okay, and I will I'll explain you what make mkdir does. So mkdir means make directory, and directory. So right now I'm on /root. Let's say if I want to make a directory called test keys, and so I'll do my mkdir, and it's basically a directory there. So if I do ls-lrt, it's telling me that this is a directory D. So these are called bits, and I'll go over in a separate video what this and these are called permissions and of this directories. This is called read, write, execute, read, write, and it doesn't have a write here, but I'll explain you this later. But D basically represents the type of directory, and so if I go in there, I basically see no file there. If I need to create a file, another command we'll do, we can create a dummy file by doing touch test1.txt. So it just creates a dummy file. Okay. How do I? So I covered mkdir, and I covered touch. And now if I want to really go and basically create a nested directories. Okay, so let me just remove the directories. If I want to remove test keys completely, I'll do rmdir. However, an rmdir is a remove directory, and it says remove empty directories. But see, rmdir is remove empty directory, not just directory. So if I have to go and just really get rid of everything within that, so this is a very dangerous type of command. I can do rm-rf. Never use this until we are really sure what you're doing. If I do this on test keys, it will not even ask me a question, and simply get rid of everything. So I did that, and you see it's gone. Right? So let me create now. Let's say if I want to create a nested directory, meaning I want test keys. I need to create test keys, and then dir1, dir2, and dir3, and I want to do it in one shot. So the way I will do it is doing mkdir p, and I'll do this. Okay, if I do this /test keys there, then it will start creating this from the top root hierarchy, but I want to create under root. So basically what I'm saying is that I want to create this directory structure with underneath /root. So that's why I'm not going to put a slash up in my command. So when I do a slash, because my native location right now is /root, right? If I do mkdir test keys dir1, dir2, dir3, what will happen is that the file is going to get created from the top of the hierarchy, not under root /root. So that's not what I want. But let me show you what I'm saying. I want to create this under /roots. Okay, so I do mkdir test keys dir1, dir2, dir3. If I do that, it says, well, I can't really do that. So it's asking you. So one way you have to do this is to create mkdir test keys, and then you go in there, and then do mkdir dir1, and then you go back again, and you see, okay, you're in test keys. So and then see you have dir1 there. So try to do, and so we have to create dir1, and under dir1 we have to create dir2. So you have to go to dir. Now I'm under dir1. Okay, I have to go in dir1. Okay, so I'm in dir1. You see, I'm in dir1. So now we have to do dir2. So I have to go mk. So this is a nested directory. So for nested directory, so mkdir again on dir2. So now I have another directory dir2. So if I go dir2, now my path is test keys dir1, dir2, and now I need to create another directory called dir. But I have to make sure where I am. So I'm in dir2. So fine. Under dir2, I need to create another directory called mkdir3. So mkdir dir3. So you see, now I am under another directory called, I have another new directory dir3, and I'm inside dir3. So now I'll say, okay, touch for name of the file. I'm creating a dummy file text. So and then I do this. So you see, I have a file under dir3. If I do a tree, I can see that. So let me do a tree under. Okay, so you see, I'm under dir1, dir2, dir3, and another file. So that took me a lot. I mean, if I go here and do a tree, you can see that I have a test keys in dir1, dir2, dir3. By the way, this file was already there, so you don't have to worry about that. But this is important. So I had to do so many commands to get to that, right? This is pretty inconvenient. So what I will do is that I want to show you a quick way. So let me just get rid of everything. So I'll do rm test keys, all gone. Look at the tree, nothing is there. All I'll do is that make dir and use a p switch, and I'll show you what p switch actually means. Always try to go and look into the man pages. So mkdir -b means dash b, no errors. So these means make parent directories. It means that will not ask you. You can do that in one shot. So do that. Okay, where I am right now. That happens. So I'm in /root. So all I have to do test keys. So I'll do -b. That's the key thing, and then put dir1, dir2, dir2, dir3. As soon as I do that, the tree structure has been created. You don't have to do it like one by one. Okay. If I have to go to dir3, I can simply go here by cd, the change command, and now I'm in dir3. You can see here. Actually, I'm in dir3, so there's nothing underneath dir3, right? So if I have to create a file, let's say dummy file, text, I can go touch there, and so that file that gets created, and the file permission of the file is this. We'll talk about permission later. So let's go to read and then do a tree. So I have same thing again, but to achieve that was much easier than before. Okay, so we covered mkdir in depth. We do rmdir, and so let's jump on other command. So these are some of the things that you should be knowing right off your bat. So let's do some of the easiest one. So we did mkdir, we did touch, we did already clear. Okay, let's do cat. pwd we already covered. Change mode is a little difficult. rmdir we did it. Uname we did it. Who am I? I'll do it now, this one. So let's go. Man, I already showed you. So some of them are okay. And then we did some of the basics. So so we are already there. Let's do a few more commands. So basic. So one of the things is that what does cat does. So cat has a so if I have to, let's take over this file. So and then so that let's say I go and wcat is another command that you can use to basically crawl or basically download a website or access a web page actually. So let's say if I do this, right? So now there's an index.html that file there. So if I want to do what is the content of this, if I want to peek in there, I can do cat index.html, and that's like a whole list of there's an HTML file, index.html, that's in the tree, and it's file size. This is in bytes, so it is about first three is been 2549 kilobytes. It's about 2 megabytes file. Okay, so we need another command called cat. Cat tells you what's the index of the file. Okay, if I do index cat index.html, and I want to see how many times the word CNN has been pronounced in it, so I'll do a grep commands is greps is captured as a specific keyword that you're looking for, but then I want to say I don't care about if it's lowercase or uppercase, so I do grep. So I ignore the case, and then I'll do -i, and then on the quotes I'll do CNN. Let's see what happens. So it shows me that okay, these are the number of times the CNN has been there. Okay, so grep catches a pattern. Okay, if you want to specifically capture a pattern, which is called regular expressions, you can say that okay, I'm looking for anything that starts with a dot and then have a CNN. Then not start, but like the pattern of this. So I can do a grep. This is going to show you that okay, these are the lines that have dot CNN. So this is the capturing command grep. If I want to do okay, how many lines are there in this? How many lines are there in this file? A line basically means there's a carriage return. So how many lines are there? So we'll do, and this is called pipe, and we'll do the word count, and then we want to count. We want to do a word. Okay. So -L will just count it for you and list it. So it's 14,604 lines, right? If I do grep r.cnn, I'll say how many lines are there. Then if you just filter with that, so it's telling me 53 lines. So as you see, it's getting filtered. So wc is another command. It's called word count. Grep is pattern matching, and showed you grep.I, what grep.I means, grep.R means, and cat. So that being said, there's another important command called top. Something will tell you it's about how busy the system is. It's called load average. This is CPU. The CPU is split between two type of jobs. There's one called user job and there's a kernel job. So you can see kernel is the high list privilege job that operating system gives priority to. If you don't have kernel jobs running, you can have an unstabilized system. So kernel jobs are preferred over user jobs, and in case of any system recovery or something, this takes precedence. If a CPU cycle is spread between these two, if the CPU cycle is taking more of the system kernel jobs, then it means you have some instability in the system. This is showing you how idle is the system. So the system is mostly idle, and it's called waiting IO. And here, and this is telling you some other metrics, which I think I will discuss later. There's some for now. And this is called memory. This is the amount of free memory. That's the total memory. How many is cached? These are some deep concepts that can be discussed later. Swap memory space, virtual memory, resident memory, shared memory, percent CPU being shared. And these are processes. And what are processes? So this is a process called process ID. 677 is a process ID, and it belongs to MySQL. And the daemon that is mined to this PID is called so this dashboard keeps going up and down, but basically the MySQL is mined to 677, and these are the details for it. The other command I can show you is that if you want to see how many processes are running on the system, you can do a PSE-EF. If you want to see how many processes and threads, so you can see the nested degree. So that's a parent process and there's a child process. So this graphical way you can do PS-E space-F. So we'll go in there, but PS gives you a report of a snapshot of the current process. I think we have pretty much covered some of the important commands. I think they're come around to 20, maybe more. But I think let's keep the video. Let's start slowly, so then you don't get. So it's easy for you to process. Thank you very much for joining, and let's wait for the next session, and let's keep learning together. Thank you.